What do you think? What happens?
I think you get scouted by a different breed of woman.
What type of woman?
Type of women that aren't cosplaying as 14-year-olds, putting on braces.
Don't look yet. Jesus Christ.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Bro.
Who are all these girls?
Stop.
You know, there's a lot of DMs.
Oh,
Jesus.
No, stop, shut up.
They just send you boobs?
Why is the DNC not inviting this guy? He's a firm and committed defender of the Democratic Party, dude. Like, what the fuck? I just don't get it. I don't understand why the DNC is not inviting this guy. All right, let's continue.
With minors.
So what is the admitting to jerking off to 15-year-olds then? What is that in relation to?
I never admitted to jerking off. I think I just said like this. I think the log is something like this 15-year-old chick was trying to send me, or was sending me pictures of herself when she was.
Like, let's get back into the video. The video is even worse.
As fuck, it's like really hard to like turn down some of these people. I think.
Wait, how old was she?
She said she was 15.
Because I shared a picture of a chick that I said, look at this hot jailbait. That
Bro, there is no way you just said, at least he gets pussy unlike you. Come on, dude. That's crazy.
makes me a pedophile?
There are some 15, 16-year-old chicks that like look pretty fucking hot. Like I can't help that. Like some people mature fucking older. When you're a professional gamer, there's a lot of fucking girls that are hitting on you. It's insane. And the scariest part is the underage chicks that hit on you. If you're in your fucking early 20s or some shit, and you've got these late fucking teeny boppers that are sending you, you know, these crazy pictures and whatnot, like not necessarily nude pictures either. I don't, to my knowledge, I haven't received nude pictures of an underage person, although I guess it's theoretically possible. I don't know. I've never knowingly traded pictures with an underage person.
Consulting some of these logs, Destiny writes, "You want to see the sickest shit in the world? So many fangirls. I had one that was 15. Dude, she's 15. What the fuck? But she sent me pictures." Someone else writes, "What the fuck? She's huge." Destiny writes back, "That made it so hard to say no." He shares an image in the chat and then writes, "I'm gonna get arrested one of these MLGs, man." I don't know what MLGs means, but you know, I'm getting the vibe that that would be bad. A friend of his, minutes later, admits to hooking up with a 17-year-old. I don't know how old this person was, but based on the context of the conversation, I feel like they probably weren't 17. In another log, Destiny writes, "I would fuck the shit out of that 15-year-old girl. What the fuck?" He was 26 at this time. So yeah, regardless of how you feel about ChudLogic's messages, the environment in which these allegations were discussed, given some of the people involved, was not so great. These kinds of responses, along with statements like Rob's, only further discourages people from speaking out when stuff like this happens. I guess that's a nice transition to the next point, which is the topic of ephebophilia.
Noah that makes fun of debate bro logic by using the term ephebiophile.
Well, it's just inappropriate for me to be flirting with someone who is underage or even young, like 18. It's supposed to be half your age plus 7. So yes, technically you guys got me. He's not a pedophile, he's an ephebophile. This is a meme. It's the debate lord meme that you are differentiating.
That definition is straight up dumb. It conflates that being attracted to 15-year-olds is the same as being attracted to 19-year-olds.
Okay, so once again, I want to retract this accusation. I shouldn't have called this guy an ephebophile either. There's a running joke about how debate lords will make that distinction and how it's weird, and I guess now we have some insight as to why they might need to do that.
There are some 15, 16-year-old chicks that like look pretty fucking hot.
But in an effort to make fun of that, I ended up just unironically doing it myself. I made this distinction when no one involved with the situation ever used it as a defense. What I didn't know about ephebophilia, because to be honest, I didn't read much beyond the Google search I showed, is that the attraction to this age group must be primary. Like, he only goes after people in this age range. And beyond this one example, I have no evidence to support that this is the case. Again, I still think the messages were weird and creepy, and that the age gap, combined with the fact that she was a fan of his, does seem a bit predatory, but I should be able to say that without calling him these more loaded words. Another issue I do have here, though, is the implication from Rob that adults can't be groomed.
Chud was flirting with someone he believed was an adult, so nothing he did was morally wrong. You can call him creepy, but in no way is Chud a groomer.
Of course adults can be groomed. Categorically denying that this could be a case of grooming because he thought she was an adult is wild. Don't do that.
Noah also tries calling out hypocrisy for me joking about his appearance.
Wait a minute. The thumbnail of this video says that stranger danger with my face. He is just kind of doing that, isn't he? Ooh. I get called a pedophile every other day on my YouTube channel, and it's usually because of my mustache and my haircut. You know, pedo stash. It's sort of a classic insult.
Noah, you falsely calling Chart a pedo is in no way comparable to me making a goofy thumbnail. The issue here is that Noah lacks the ability to be charitable.
Rob does this thing where he just says something and doesn't give any reasons for why he thinks that. Love that. I also love his characterization of the thumbnail as just being goofy, and not that the text above my head says stranger danger, and that the person directly to my right or your left is a known sexual harasser and drawn child porn consumer. The obvious implication here is that we are somehow predatory. That's why I compared the two. Seems kind of like a reasonable comparison. I don't know.
The issue here is that Noah lacks the ability to be charitable. If one of his friends was in ChudLogic's shoes, he'd defend them to the very end. But here he just has to go the extreme length to label someone he doesn't like a groomer. This just proves the dehumanization point I made in my original video. He's gotta label him the worst thing ever. No other YouTuber agrees with this take from Noah, not even ChudLogic's sworn enemies, Xander Hall and Keffels.
Bandwagon.
What is this argument, dude? What the fuck? An endless well of depravity. Just, nobody actually agrees with your argument, including these other fucking YouTubers who don't agree with your argument. Those are his sworn enemies. Also, Xylithol is a real person, which is amazing. Xylithol is the placeholder for like random YouTuber name that I had no idea existed until this very moment, until they made like a fucking hate video on me. And it turns out that's a real YouTuber. That's a real guy. Okay, that's fantastic. If you ever catch yourself saying these names, think about yourself. Yeah, no, that's it. Xylithol is a real man, okay? And he's got opinions, and you need to hear those opinions.
Bandwagon fallacy. Bandwagon fallacy. Bandwagon. But nah, man, like I said, even though this stuff was really weird, I shouldn't have called this dude a pedophile or an ephebophile, and I'm sorry to ChudLogic for doing that. I do want to be more responsible and intentional with my words online, and this exchange has helped me to recognize that. Anyways, that's it for today. We will...
Jesus Christ, dude. That is so fucking nutty. What is this?
And they're celebrities.
Hold on, even you're loading all of a sudden. When you say he's texting her and he wants to give her dating advice, what if she's the one that brought it up first? Should he say something like, I'm sorry, but it's inappropriate for me to talk to you about high school boys? Or what? Like, what?
Yeah. You do it all the time. When some young person comes up to you and starts saying some weird stuff, you just sit there with this 13-year-old and then you start having conversations extended about them about dating.
Yeah, I have before. What do you mean? No, would I tell if a young person came up to me and they were asking me questions about some like boy problems or some shit? Yeah, I'd probably say, yeah, of course. What do you mean, I'm a 35-year-old man? Of course I'm going to have better advice for them than some fucking random high school person. Yeah, of course.
Wait. Oh, okay, well then maybe that's just weird behavior even for me. I think that's weird.
I think it's more. Hold on. Who are they supposed to ask if not adults? What do you mean? If a 15-year-old girl came up to me and she's like, there's some weird shit going on with a boy in my high school, I'd say, oh, no, don't talk to me, honey. Go ask another 15-year-old boy, or ask your retarded fucking mom and dad who are going to tell you to never talk to any boys ever. No, what the fuck? Why would I not talk to a person? Wait, what?
And Destiny, if that stuff came out that you were talking to 13-year-olds about dating, that they came up to you and you were like, yeah, you know this and this about sex or whatever.
Why is he getting so mad? He's like, no, I will. The streamer Axis of Evil. Imagine ever calling someone anonymous like, sure, I may be a pedophile, but at least I'm not British. I sexually harassed a girl 2 years ago. There's a video about it on my channel. What? I think these guys are all attempting to make jokes. Well, except for Vosh. Vosh was being for real that he did do that, and he made a YouTube video about it. What is this? For instance, I would not have sex with Hassan Piker even if he was a child because he is Turkish. Oh yeah, I remember Kevel saying that. That was weird. Listen, I don't know what it is, and I also don't want to see this. This is gross. But I will say this. I don't know what the fuck vibes I bring to the table, but damn near the entirety of my fucking haters that find themselves in the marketplace of fuck Hasan content almost always are either defending groomers, are groomers themselves, are outed as pedophiles, you know what I mean? Defend pedophiles. It's kind of crazy. Like, I don't know what it is. But once again, as I've always said, judge me by my enemies, okay? If you've seen a YouTube video that has been out there and is making you feel some type of way, you know, where it's just like a sequence of shit that is clipped out of context, it's most likely coming from this group of individuals. Speaking of pedogate, I'm telling you, if you did only less than 1% of all the weird and disgusting bad things D did during his online career, you would have been already canceled years ago. Yeah, I know. I saw clips of you playing some horny ass game. Yes, it is true. Yeah, every year this meme has to be updated because of more and more Hasan Piker enemies are outed as predators or their collaborators. Anytime D brings up bro tubes, we should bring up his bro squad. Yeah. Yeah, my worst shit is like a satirical an attempt at satire I did 11 years ago that is nowhere near as remotely bad as it's something that I've like owned up to and has informed like my perspective on the world. That's so funny. All right, let's anyway, how was working out been going? It's been great. Speaking of Diddygate, Diddy G, pedophiles, people who collaborate with pedophiles and the like, Drake, who you saw in that previous video, was being defended by Diddy G's very own Diddler Destiny, Diddy-stiny. He's initiated legal action against Universal Music Group and Spotify over allegations that the two companies conspired to artificially inflate the popularity of Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. In a filing Monday, in Manhattan court, Drake's Frozen Moments LLC accused UMG of launching an illegal scheme involving bots, payola, and other methods to pump up Lamar's song, a track that savagely attacked Drake amid an ongoing feud between the two stars. Drake's attorneys accused UMG of violating the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, the federal RICO statute, often used in criminal cases against organized crime. They also alleged deceptive business practices and false advertising under New York state law. The court filings are a remarkable twist in the high-profile beef between the two stars, which saw Drake and Kendrick exchange stinging diss tracks over a period of months earlier this year. That such a dispute would spill into business litigation seemed almost unthinkable in the world of hip-hop. UMG, which distributes Drake's music, has responded. They said, in a response several hours later, by the way, yeah, UMG also distributes Drake's music. They responded and said, The suggestion that UMG would do anything to undermine any of its artists is offensive and untrue. We employ the highest ethical practices in our marketing and promotional campaigns. They don't actually employ the highest ethical practices elsewhere, just on their marketing and promotional campaigns. Anyway, no amount of contrived and absurd legal arguments in this pre-action submission can mask the fact that fans chose the music they want to hear. That is crazy. He's going to sue because he's mad that the song got big. Does this man not understand that Kendrick is beloved on levels we'll never reach? Well, it's also because, like, he himself is a massive artist. Wait, what? He's coming after what? NFR? While historically payola has been thought in terms of paying radio stations to play songs, in February 2020, the Federal Trade Commission released guidance stating that by paying an influencer to pretend that their endorsement or review is untainted by a financial relationship, this is illegal payola. On information and belief, UMG employed a similar scheme by paying social media influencers to promote the song and endorse the song and video. For example, petitioner understands that UMG paid the popular NFR podcast, which has nearly 300,000 subscribers on YouTube and over 330,000 followers on X, to promote Not Like Us and its video without disclosing payment. As part of its deal, UMG, the NFR podcast, published podcast episodes, tweets, and other content publicly about the song. And in a sea change for UMG's internal policy, UMG removed the song's copyright restrictions on YouTube and Twitch, thereby whitelisting the song for the first time in UMG history, which further incentivized influencers to spread the song. Wait, he's mad that Kendrick was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Let's not even make money off this. Let's not make extra money, extra revenue off this. Why didn't he also do that? Drake's like, it's illegal to listen to this song. UMG's scheme to ensure Not Like Us broke through on Spotify and elsewhere worked. Not Like Us broke Spotify records, as Interscope posted on its X account. Wait. Check the sources on page 4. It's going to be DJ Academics, isn't it? Jambisco Dawn? Kendrick Lamar exposed by DJ Academics? Of course, dude. Of course. Because why not? Give it up, man. Give it up. This shit is like hella embarrassing. This is way worse. Drake labels in newer news, Drake's team is now getting exposed for doing the same thing and allegedly paying influencers to spread false narratives around Kendrick Lamar. Wait, what? Bet Kendrick Lamar supports R. Kelly and wouldn't let his music get removed off Spotify, etc. Stuff like that. Send me an example. Just sways public opinion. Wait. Come on, dude. Come on, please. Just talk about the R. Kelly stuff. If DJ Academics is my strongest soldier, I'm surrendering on day one. Yo, I'm serious. The bald spot coming in. I'm scared the Super Bowl is going to make Drake, Brian kill me. Yeah. Bro's insecurity must be studied. Oh yeah, this is so we were gonna have some choice moments from the XQC Drake collabo that they did for a online crypto casino that is not regulated. It's called Stake. They own the website Kick, for those of you who don't know. That's also not really regulated. Filled to the brim with people who serially create CSAM in their Discord servers. and are always, rizzing up minors. That's right. It's fun stuff. And also pedophile hunters on the other side that seemingly never hunt the pedophiles that are on the platform, and neo-Nazis. So Drake went on the website because he is a stake. He's a person who is paid by stake to promote crypto gambling to his fan base. Anyway, here is Drake and XQC hanging out. XQC made the mistake of playing Weekend while he was around Drake, and this was his reaction.
You have to switch this on though.
It's autoplay, you know, so like...
Wait, he just slammed that phone, dude. Wait, what?
You have to switch this on though.
Not to be too parasocial, but it feels like even he's annoyed. What the fuck?
It's autoplay, you know, so like...
You have to switch this one. We're real Sixers. We're real Sixers. They're real six side. We don't listen to that.
You know what it is before?
Nah. What? Yeah. Of course. What do you mean? Yeah, exactly. Play some Blink 182. I want to hear that real shit.
This has to be on turbo 100%. Even on turbo is...
I also think that this is probably a fucking shot at Aiden Ross as well, who obviously has always been the number one Drake rider for extended periods of time. It is not surprising to me that this collaboration with XUC came right after Aiden Ross left the platform kick. Surprised he was not on Aiden's stream? No, I think there's a reason for why. Oh, Drake called Steve Lacy his fragile op after XU played his music on stream. He also got mad at this as well. I don't know why he had smoke for Steve Lacy.
Yeah. This guy's like a fragile op, but it's a good song though. You know?
It's a fragile op. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, he's like a fragile op, but he's...
Why is he a op? Why is he a fragile op?
It's a good song though.
Okay, so what does that mean?
Oh, because he's from Compton and he was at Kendrick's concert.
Fragile op. No.
Chat knows what I'm talking about. Fragility.
Interesting, actually.
Okay, we need...
on the
Drake trying to start beef with Lacy, call him a fragile op, already backfired. Steve Lacy posted Drake get lonely on his Instagram, and then posted what? Lamau, what in the... Oh no, with the SZA like, who trying to be my fragile op? These are the guys from the NFR podcast. Drake mentioned the lawsuit, by the way. Drake put these guys in a RICO. Yeah, Steve was on stage during the pop out that Kendrick did. And among all the affiliated members from LA, Drake decided to go after Steve instead of anyone else on that stage. I wonder why he chose to go after Steve, who is, you know, a relatively new artist on the scene anyway. Like Steve Lacy got like, I mean, he popped off on TikTok originally, right? What's fucked is that they're both huge Drake fans too. No, he isn't. What do you... He's not new. He's been around. Okay, well, I didn't know. I don't listen to music. I just like the drama. Oh, he was on Odd Future? Oh, I didn't know that. Aynı şeyini çıkarır mısın? Color'ını çıkarır mısın? He was popular before TikTok? He's been around, but he did pop off big on TikTok. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that he was on Odd Future. But anyway, regardless, I think Drake calling anybody a fragile op is pretty funny. especially considering that he's so fragile that the mere mention of Steve Lacy's music is enough for him to be triggered. Also, Drake is so disrespectful to DJ Academics and Los Pollos. Like, there's hella people who have been Drake writers from the jump. And, like, he did not entertain a single one of their fucking broadcasts, and he went straight to XQC. Kind of wild. Oh, also, he's going bald. I saw that. No, my goat going bald. What the fuck, delete? But the likes going up. Yeah. He sat next to XQC for hours just spinning slots. It was really sad. That's amazing. Not an off feature, but a close reference. Taco's sister was in a band with Steve Lacy. They all basically grew up together. Yeah. What is it? The braids was a real ass line because it really was the braids making his ass bald. Yeah, it probably was super tight and it was like fucking pulling out his hair. I mean, it's a common thing that happens. XQC been a bigger streamer than Kai for a decade now is also a crazy fucking line because like XQC, yes, used to be the biggest streamer, but like Kai Cenat is currently doing a fucking subathon and he has like probably 200,000 fucking people watching him. You know? Perhaps because he did not go. Oh, and then this was the main line. This was the one that really popped off, which friend of the show, our boy Sean the Black also got a hit tweet off of. Bro said this on an XQC stream. You're cooked, bro.
I'm Drake. This is XQC, real streaming legend. Me, I do music in case you didn't know. I'm here, as you can see, fully intact. Mind, body, and soul, in case you were wondering. Right?
Mind, body, and soul.
Mind, body, and soul.
Oh!
Mind, body, and soul. You need facts to take me out. Fairy tales won't do it. Cheers to everybody.
Words live by.
Words to live by. Real talk.
I just don't know why has like such cornball energy. Like, I just don't get it. I legitimately don't understand why he can't just be like, cool. Bro, you are literally one of the wealthiest dudes on the planet. You have a decent enough looking penis. Maybe it's a little too skinny, but it's all good, you know? You got your own fucking PJ that's like a 747. And it's so odd that he's always like, it's like, he always feels like it's just not enough. You know what I mean?
Talk. Cheers to everybody. Love.
Like this entire sequence, this 22-second sequence, the very fact that like he went on XQC stream to just sit next to him, dead-eyed as XQC was like fucking doing slots over and over again because he's a fucking stakeholder. All this shit is like, you're one of the richest musicians on the planet. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? It doesn't make any fucking sense. And I saw his fans like also coping, being like, oh, well, Kendrick dropped a song or an album and the entire world is talking about Drake right now because he's a PR genius. Is like, yeah, dumbass, the entire world is making fun of him. They're not talking about him in a positive way, brother. They're talking about him in a negative way. I have not seen a single person that watched the XQC stream that was like, yo, Drake is so sick on this stream. Like, they're you know, it's not good PR. It's objectively bad press.
In case you were wondering.
Which is a thing that exists, okay? There's no There's no like, oh, all press is good press. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. I think part of it is he sees how cool Kai's artist collabs are and he thought he could do the same. Okay, first of all, I think Kai would probably have Drake on if Drake wanted to go on Kai Cenat's stream. It might be difficult logistically because it's in Los Angeles, but like, I'm certain that Kai would have him on. What are you talking about? Bro, Kai had Chris Brown on. The fuck? He doesn't give a shit. What do you mean? He was coping hard at the chat shitting on him.
Shout out to X's chat, man. You guys are ruthless, man, but I love you. I got a lot of love for you guys, man.
No, pretty ruthless, but
we love all the shit talkers, all the crip walkers, man. We love you guys, man. It is what it is, man. You know. We love the chirps. We love the chirps. Trust me.
I think at the end of the day, nobody like means like an actual like harm and whatever, you know.
No.
Is that a carrot? Is he eating? What is he eating? Is this cool? I don't understand. Maybe this like tracks is fucking cool. Oh, it's a hookah. It's a hookah pipe. Damn, bro. I'm fucking Turkish and this motherfucker knows this over. It's over. My culture. I'm so assimilated, bro. I didn't even notice that it was a fucking nargile pipe. Oh my lord.
It is what it is. It comes with the territory.
Okay, to be fair though, it doesn't even have a tip.
You're gonna sit in front of the camera, you gotta take it, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That sounded crazy, by the way.
Wasn't too bad.
That's like a good OnlyFans slogan or something.
Wait, what?
Whatever, you know?
No, it is what it is. It comes with the territory. If you're gonna sit in front of the camera, you gotta take it, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That sounded crazy, by the way.
Wasn't too bad.
That's like a good OnlyFans slogan or something.
Yeah, Kai wears knocked at Drake's Nike line off and they're cool. Yeah, also, look, I call balls and strikes. Okay, hadi bay bay anne. Otur. Yeah, hadi. I call balls and strikes. I'm an honest broker of the truth, okay? So now that I've actually made fun of Drake like a lot, here are 3 things that I think are actually kind of cool about Drake that I will always fucking respect him for. 1, I think the Nocta shit is not trash. I think Nocta, some of the pieces from Nocta are kind of cool. Okay? Sorry. That's what I think. Number 2, he has an NBA indoor basketball court in his house. That is literally the best thing you can do with your money. Okay? That's just true. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. You fucking put a full-size NBA regulation basketball court, indoor court in your house, that's fire. Okay? If Drake actually invited me to go play basketball at the indoor basketball court, I might actually drop all my convictions. Okay? I'll just say it. I have said no to, remember chat, $1 million on the election night, on the election day broadcast coverage from Polymarket, the company that got raided by the FBI. Their starting point was $1 million. They were like, oh, we're coming into the conversation. We'll give you $1 million fucking for one day. And I said no to that. Having said that, I will drop my convictions if I get to play in an indoor NBA basketball regulation court. I feel like that's super sick. And last but not least, he has been one of the more vocal, one of the largest artists that has been vocal and pro-Palestine from the jump. Partially because he's from Toronto and he's surrounded by a lot of like Arab North African dudes, a lot of Muslim dudes in his crew. So, balls and strikes. Those are 3, I think, fair things to say about Drake. Okay? Especially the last one. That one is a big one, I think. Weekend still clears him on that front. But I mean, listen, Weeknd has done a shit ton more than Drake, but overall, he was early on. He literally did nothing but sign that letter 1 year ago. Do you have other proof? Okay, but that's still a big fucking deal when you're Drake, dog. What are you talking about? And it was super early too. Like he was probably one of the first. That was one of the first fucking major artists that came out of the gate swinging. Like that was a fucking year ago, dude. Are you kidding me? That was like early. It was like November or something. Yeah, October 30th, 2023. That's insane. And I will always listen. I will always respect that. He signed the Artist for Ceasefire letter on October 30th. October 30th, 2024. He called for a fucking ceasefire in Palestine before Bernie Sanders did. Okay? Yes, Abel has donated millions. He's been infinitely more vocal about his support for Palestinian emancipation. 2023, sorry, not 2024. I apologize. 2023, October, around October 20th, 2023. Okay? So, goddamn, HasanAbi really wants to play on that court? Wait, first of all, no, the court thing is a meme for the most part. But like, no, I'm gonna be honest. Like, why the fuck would I lie? I see no reason to lie. My job here isn't to just like fucking pump the anti-Drake shit. There's plenty that he has done that I think is like lame and you know, worthy of criticism. Do you sometimes have reason to lie? Yes. When I tell you I haven't fucked your mom last night, that's a lie. Anyway. I can't believe he did this. He is such a fucking cornball, dude. Like trying to take legal action against his own distributor, dude. What an insane thing to do. Anyway. Asaf thinks he can thread this needle because he's nominally Jewish. What does nominally Jewish mean? Zionist, former AIPAC, recovering Yerushalmi, dissident Reform rabbi, but not a Reform Jew, probably a Mossad agent, influential genocide advocate. Jonathan Greenberg says, nominally Jewish. Jewish in name only. I like that. I like that the ultra nationalist, like rabid Israel defenders, have found a new way to just say bad Jew. You know, HasanAbi is anti-Semitic. Yeah, definitely. Like, I guess maybe it's not a new method. Maybe I was just oblivious to it. I didn't realize that was like that. No true Scotsman in your own religion is wild. Yeah. Drake really the first person to try to win a beef in the courts? Yeah, the real course he should be trying to win a beef in is the basketball court. You know what I mean? He probably cooked Kendrick. He's got the height on him at least. But instead, what is he doing? This shit. All right, let's see what the fucking... Wait, what? Bro, this is from 13 days ago. Y'all sent me a video from 13 days ago? I thought there was a new Jon Stewart or some shit. Why the fuck would I watch a Jon Stewart video from 13 fucking days ago? We probably watched it. What else was I gonna do? Oh, here.
The philosophical conundrum that we're gonna see is
these motherfuckers did a Hassan off and didn't even invite me, which is kind of bullshit, dude.
the philosophical conundrum that we're
I
gonna
gotta
see is,
pee.
can things go from bad to worse?
Are we seeing a trend of young men being influenced by the Joe Rogans and the Theo Vaughns?
You want the real truth, just ask your Uber driver.
If you've sat down with Barack Obama, I watched a very fun conversation you had
Sure.
with Obama, and yet here you are saying he's a war criminal.
Yes.
Could you ever be in politics?
No, I could not. Even though people say, they're like, you look like it. And I'm like, that's a huge insult. Kids ask us tougher questions than Mehdi Hassan.
100%.
They ask like true paradoxes about like the very meaning of life. How do I justify the iTunes user agreement that I signed up for? I clicked accept. In exchange for that, I got a BMW 3 Series.
Yep.
But my tax dollars fund the destruction of people who look very similar to me.
I feel like if you weren't a comedian after today,
Yeah.
you would have a very good alternate career as a
Basketball coach.
therapist.
No, bro. No. The philosophical conundrum that we're going to see is, can things go from bad to worse?
Are we seeing a trend of young men being influenced by the Joe Rogans and the Theo Vaughns?
You want the real truth, just ask your Uber driver.
If you've sat down with Barack Obama, I watched a very fun conversation you had
Sure.
with Obama, and yet here you are saying he's a war criminal.
Yes.
Could you ever be in politics?
No, I could not. Even though people say, they're like, you look like it. And I'm like, that's a huge insult. Kids ask us tougher questions than Mehdi Hassan.
100%.
They ask like true paradoxes about like the very meaning of life. How do I justify the iTunes user agreement that I signed up for? I clicked accept. In exchange for that, I got a BMW 3 Series.
Yep.
But my tax dollars fund the destruction of people who look very similar to me.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I can't believe it. He's doing a tour called Anita Max Win in Australia, announced on Kick, probably funded by Steak, Australian founders. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's going to do a tour in Australia while the Super Bowl is happening. Which is... They're both Indian, you're Turkish, that's why. Yeah, it's fucked up. All right. Why Americans hate each other now.
Okay, guys, confession time. Well, I think of myself as a pretty moral person. You know, I've studied ethics for a lot of my life. I once did something that was truly horrible. I ghosted someone. Now, things with this person had been going great. You know, we had a lot in common. They were really nice. And most importantly, she said it was cute that I was going bald on our first date.
I see you.
This ain't nothing. Oh, I see you.
But then after seeing her a few times, something really horrible happened. I was watching college basketball, and then she turned off my TV and then turned on some form of pop punk music on her iPhone and said, let's just listen to music instead. And at that moment, it was over for me. I had lost that loving feeling. And I imagine in the recent weeks, some of us might have been tempted to do some ghosting of our own. Because in the wake of a really contentious election, a lot of people seem unable to deal with the fact that folks who they liked, that they thought were good, then voted for someone whose overall vibe rhymes with smashist. And it's not just happening with personal relationships, as folks have been blaming entire populations for their complicity in Trump's election. Posts like this are going viral, implying that people in Flint, Michigan deserve lead in their water because their county turned up red on an electoral map. Which leads me to ask, like, what is going on here? You know, how can people disown their family members and wish ecological harm on entire cities? You know, ghost environmental lawyers who like bald guys. These situations all treat reality like a simple matrix of good or bad, moral or immoral, future wife or eternal enemy. And ideally, we would see that reality is more complex or nuanced than these black and white reactions.
You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
And that we can't separate voting patterns from underlying economic and social conditions, or, you know, realize that liking hot topic music doesn't make you unworthy of love. Okay, so today we're gonna try to understand all of this via the psychoanalytic concept of the paranoid schizoid position. And I think if we understand the psychoanalytic concept, not only will we better understand our own minds, but it can help us understand what's going on societally when we're all falling into this sort of black and white thinking, and even help us understand how we can avoid it. But before we get into it, I wanna give a shout out to this video's sponsor, Private Internet internet access. Now, private internet access is a VPN. In case you don't know what that is, I'll tell you. So whenever you're browsing online, your device is transmitting a ton of information which can be viewed by hackers or anyone looking to make money off of your personal data. Now, a VPN, a virtual private network, helps you keep your data secure while you're browsing. Think about it this way, right? You wouldn't go to the beach without
Yes, it's sped up.
putting on sunscreen because you know you'd get burned. And in this case, having a VPN is like a bunch of SPF that protects your data and internet activity. And I'm a huge fan of VPNs, not just for safety, but for fun stuff too. Like, did you know that Netflix has different things in different countries? Sometimes shows
I'm doing ethical reacts, Chad. Shut up.
we don't get here, but with private internet access, I can just
Also subscribe to the broadcast. I retain the right to serve ads in the future if I feel like it. And you can avoid those future ads and be able to send me links and use emotes and support the broadcast.
just go on a global journey and tell the internet I'm in a bunch of different places and see what sort of cool shows and movies pop up. And even
Thank
better,
you,
private
Selva
internet
King
access
Bad,
is
bro.
not just for your computer.
For the
It's
vodka
available
to
on a
sub.
ton of different devices and on all platforms, including Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android, and iOS. And there's right? You wouldn't go to the beach without putting on sunscreen. As double internet's man protect them for $80 a month. Stay safe when you're on the internet and check out private internet access today. But for now, let's get back to the show. Okay, so let's start with an example to understand this, right? Imagine you just had a fight with your best friend because they said something like, you know, the Grateful Dead is noodly crap music for hippies who smell like dumpsters outside of a dispensary. At first, you might be incensed at their sheer stupidity. But after you have a second to chill out, you realize that, you know, you don't really like their preferred music either. Techno that sounds like how bad drugs feel. And honestly, who cares? Because they're a fiercely loyal
There ain't no way he's talking shit about Fred again.
and
That's
deeply
crazy.
empathetic friend.
Go back, Sam! I'm going to Mordor alone. Of course you are. And I'm coming with you!
So, you know, if they don't want to listen to old Dead shows with you on road trips, who cares? They're still your friend. Congratulations. By going on that journey, you've just traveled through the paranoid schizoid vortex and reached the depressive position. Who among us hasn't been in the depressive position recently? For me, it's sort of curled up like that, but still holding a bottle of beer. Now, these terms aren't really about schizophrenia or depression. They're how psychoanalyst Melanie Klein describes a process in human psychology, where we move from black and white ways of thinking to more integrated ways of thinking, one where two things can be true at once. Now, in the former, your initial anger and disgust towards your friend's ignorance about, you know, jam bands could lead to dramatic conclusions.
Be gone, vile man! Be gone from me!
Like you deciding your friend is unworthy of your company. But in the depressive position, you're able to consider both yourself and your friend as separate, whole people who have mixes of both lovable and hateable qualities. One hateable quality I have is I hate sharing dishes at restaurants when you out to dinner and someone's like, ooh, do you want to get this and I'll get that and we'll just share it? I'm like, no. Okay, so once you go through this, your focus turns to repairing the rupture and then deepening your love and understanding
Woke
for
Sky, thank you
your
for the
friend
5
and potentially
gifted.
yourself. You know, it's a process that helps us
Christian
better
821,
access
thank you
the
for the
depths
10
of our own
gifted.
humanity. And incidentally, a process that's seeming increasingly rare, at least over here in the good old United States of America.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
Now, we all experience the transition from paranoid schizoid to depressive position, some more than others. But it's not like after you reach that depressive position, you're set for life. You know, it's a cycle that repeats. We often return to the paranoid schizoid position in response to threats or moments of stress. But if we stay there too long, it leads us to major black and white thinking, which doesn't really do much to honor anyone's complexity or the complexity of the world around us. So, how did Klein develop this theory in the first place? Well, in the early 20th century, she was working with young children, and she observed that to cope with the trauma of being born, as well as early confusing and painful experiences of existing in the world, children defend themselves via something called splitting. Shout out for anyone else who heard the phrase, the trauma of being born, and just stopped and was like, oh shit, man, that's some real stuff right there. Now, in this process, parts of themselves and others become perceived as either all good or all bad, because babies struggle to comprehend how someone could, I don't know, have horrible taste in music and still be a good person. And this leads them to separate loving feelings from aggressive feelings.
Aggression is just part of human nature. Basically, human beings have loving feelings and aggressive feelings.
And this schizoid instinct encourages us to put a lot of effort into separating good from bad and love from hated. For example, babies experience hunger, but they don't really understand what hunger is or where that's coming from. All they know is that they're in pain and this sucks. But then you give them some milk and they feel better. So they associate the breast or the bottle with goodness. And now the world is fundamentally okay. But of course, babies also have really bad experiences, you know, because the breast is not a vending machine and it might not instantly produce the milk necessary to cure their hunger. When this happens, it can terrify a baby, leading them to see the breast as cruel, terrible, and all bad for withholding. So like basically when you think about it, babies are all kind of incels at a certain point. This rage might lead the baby to bite the breast, attacking it because they feel punished, or maybe it might make them just deny the milk as a way of rejecting their dependence on it.
So there's kind of a psychological sleight of hand in which people manage to see aggression in other people, but not in themselves. That gets to what we call the paranoid schizoid position.
Now, as the baby grows, they ideally experience enough positivity and goodness to start to build a central core on which to begin to integrate the contracting aspects of the self. And in psychoanalytic terms, this is called forming a good internal object. But if there haven't been enough good or loving experiences, then they'll continue to see everyone through the lens of extremes, potential sources of their persecution like the breast. They'll struggle to integrate their experiences into a whole. They'll experience everyone and everything is out to get them unless they get them first.
I'll try it,
Now, there you have the paranoid piece. And when you put this all together, you get the paranoid schizoid. Along this developmental trajectory, if the person builds that good internal object, they are likely to reach the depressive position. And I know that reaching a depressive position probably doesn't sound like a good thing, but this is actually the state where complexity and individuation prevail, where goodness and badness exist in everyone and everything, the self included. For example, as the baby gets older, they may realize that the caregiver behind the breast or bottle has a lot of other things to do. Sure, they're supposed to feed and nourish you, and hopefully you can count on them to do so, but they won't always come at the exact moment that you desire food. And you start to see them as a mix between good and bad. You start to reconcile your hate with your love. You feel guilty for the times you bit them or refused them, and you seek to repair. You ponder your dependence. You face your annihilation anxiety and start to grow up and figure out ways to feed yourself and others. You learn to feel real love. Now, Klein is often cited as saying, love is not just admiration for strength, it is also tolerance for weakness.
Babies are schizophrenic. Conservatives have baby brain equals conservatives are schizophrenic, paranoid schizophrenics, in the way that they analyze and contend with their love-hate relationship with others. That's my takeaway.
Both in others and in the self. But again, it's not like anyone ever overcomes the paranoid schizoid phase and graduates into a permanent depressive state. Rather, Klein saw these positions as transient states of mind. The paranoid schizoid, for instance, defends against the depressive, and especially in times of stress, can even be useful. If someone's trying to break into your house with a big knife, do you want to be in the depressive state and be like, well, technically, the person breaking into my house with a knife, they may have gone through some stuff in their childhood that led them to this position, and boom, you're stabbed. If you were in the other position, you would just be like, holy shit, knife guy all bad, me all good, going to live by. However, it can also signify a moment of regression or stunted state of development. In other words, when life gets really stressful and scary, we all start thinking like babies. Even though we're talking about a psychological phenomenon, the paranoid schizoid process has direct social effects, and many have applied Klein's framework to better understand American history and culture. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning, when the land that we now call the Americas was discovered by colonists, and at the time it was also already very much occupied by human beings. But the colonizers, right, they constructed a narrative about this new world, this new, amazing, all good place good Europeans could go to start a fresh and glorious life. And any threat to their idealized narrative, such as the presence of native people, threatened their story, and therefore had to be all bad. It of course helped that they had God on their side to convince them that they were the good ones. To uphold this tenuous narrative, they employed a paranoid schizoid position to rationalize their domination and annihilation of native people in their land. Now, human beings have a conscience, and thus we have the capacity to feel guilty for harming others in the environment. But the paranoid schizoid position is super good at staving off that guilt. And it's good at finding reasons and systems to rationalize unconscionable behavior. And that's how we get things like white supremacy and homophobia, the free market, you name it. We see paranoid schizoid metaphors in contemporary politics when it comes to stuff like the border wall and immigration. Now here the focus is on maintaining a narrative of natural Americans as being all good and migrants as being so entirely bad they're not even human.
Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall.
Any nuance disappears. Like, say, considering that actually the US government has aided and abetted dictatorships, genocides, and the massive extraction of natural resources in many of those migrants' countries of origins, thus making life there increasingly untenable. No, we don't have time for that.
Bro, who are you? Check logs. Hey, Sammy, I'm the one the server is made for. What server? Check DMs on Insta and Patreon. What are you saying, dude? What is going on today?
Sort of thinking.
But let me be clear. Contrary to allegations against Israel made by the International Court of Justice, what's happening is not genocide.
And this all exemplifies the paranoid schizoid split between good guys and bad guys. And our media, history, and social systems are just filled with this way of thinking. That there are simply...
Bro, I literally get like 10 million DMs a day. How the fuck would I be able to find a DM that you sent me at 11 a.m.? It's crazy.
Good and bad people. Like it's an inherent quality. I'll be honest, I struggled with this so much
You
when I
get
was
one
younger.
guy
I've been
easily,
politically
that's true, I
idealistic for
do.
most of my life, and when I started to get idealistic, I struggled with thinking like everyone who believes the good stuff is good and anyone else is bad, and it's just not a really productive way to live. Now, while anyone is capable of doing something good or bad, that doesn't mean they're bad or good at a fundamental level. Like a murderer could hold a door open for you. That doesn't make them fundamentally good. Okay, so consider the carceral system. Imagine that someone gets charged with a crime, right? They steal a TV and they get sent to jail. A paranoid schizoid stance would immediately punish this person and color them as all bad, deserving of punishment. It doesn't consider outside influences, and in doing so, it defends against a depressive position, which would interrogate what conditions might have led someone to do a bad thing.
So you were always like this?
Now, a depressive position would look at the context that led the accused to this point, such as poverty. And this is how we start to justify extremes like the death penalty. By prioritizing punishment over empathy, self-reflection, and rehabilitation, people in power use paranoid schizoid thinking to justify the status quo.
But there's no evidence. A video came out of a migrant 30 miles away eating a cat.
Now, many historians have actually traced the death penalty back to lynchings and the enslavement of black people. And it's not a coincidence that the group brought here and enslaved against their will is most likely to be identified as all bad and deserving of annihilation. It's easier to think that you're a good Christian slave owner when you come up with a narrative in which the enslaved person isn't really a person. Dehumanizing your perceived enemy is a highly effective way of staving off guilt for your wrongdoing or that of your ancestors. So psychoanalysts have actually linked racism to the paranoid schizoid position. A 2021 article by psychoanalyst Ebony Dennis applies the paranoid schizoid position to white supremacy and draws a parallel between the baby's annihilation anxiety and dependence on the mother and the colonial white self's annihilation anxiety and dependence on the black slave other. She postulates that whiteness was created in order to distance white people from the racialized other, thereby holding whiteness as all good and then sort of staving off guilt for oppressing the all bad object.
No, I'm not saying white people aren't evil either, because I know we're evil. I got that evil in me.
And to be clear, the object here is just a person, just a human being. But of course, while white people exploited and enslaved black people, they were also dependent on them for providing free labor. They needed them to work rather than, escape or rebel. And so enslaving people then staved off their fears of not being able to survive in an unfamiliar land. So even in a story of dominator and enslaved, in which we don't see a lot of interdependence, there is still an incredible amount of dependency. One dominated the other to stave off fears of being dominated, either by the other or by environmental conditions. And Dennis argues that these dynamics persist today through intergenerational transmission, such that if the oppressed doesn't fulfill the needs of the oppressor, be they physical or psychological, the oppressor continues to oppress in order to restore psychological equilibrium and maintain the status quo. If you guys want to know more about this, I recommend the work of Frantz Fanon. We've talked about him in a few recent videos. He's a philosopher and psychiatrist that really gets at the psychology of colonization and how it affects both the colonizer and the colonized subject. His book, Black Skin, White Mask, is really good on this, so do check out Fanon if you have not already. Now, Dennis argues that paradoxically, this process also oppresses the oppressor. Quote, the intoxicating influence of whiteness creates a vapid space in which thinking is impeded, defended against. Such defense structures obscure the ability to accurately perceive reality, and up until recently have stifled curiosity about the psychological impact of slavery on whites. And this split between good and bad also produces a split in the self, where weak and needy parts are unintegrated, and strength is hollowly celebrated, coalescing in a vulnerable egoism. I mean, to think about this in more contemporary dudish terms, it's sort of like being strong and is good and having emotions is bad, Being an alpha is good and being a little beta bitch boy is bad. That sort of stuff. And these stories of superiority not only continue to oppress the racialized other, but also unfairly pressure white men and people in general to attempt to fulfill this perceived legacy of dominance and superiority in all areas, and can lead to feelings of inferiority if they do not. I feel like this explains a lot of the weird stuff in the manosphere and areas of this website, where men have some pretty weird ideas. I don't know what the opposite of a shout out is, but opposite shout out Andrew Tate. Big opposite ups to Andrew Tate. And this split hurts everyone in different ways because it is not truly reflective of the human condition, which again, as Klein would say, is a mix of weakness and strength, love and hate, goodness and badness. Sounds just like me. If the paranoid schizoid position can be used to understand how some very bad stuff like racism, colonialism, and political divisions are upheld, well, then, maybe we can use it to understand our own lives, and maybe that'll help us to solve some of our biggest societal problems. And we've said this before, but let me just emphasize again, it's not that we're trying to avoid this, right? The paranoid schizoid position at the level of our individual development is unavoidable. We don't have to be ashamed of it. It emerges to help us grapple with scary and unfamiliar things. But it's not our final destination. It's a process that we work through. And we can even see the paranoid schizoid position as an invitation to arrive at the more integrated depressive position. And because this is all happening internally, we're not necessarily cursed to repeat these psychological patterns at the social and political level. So in that sense, what I'm saying is the position isn't all bad, right? It is a natural thing at one level, but it can become a very bad thing when projected outwards onto others. And again, we need it to avoid complete overwhelm.
You know, in the face of like mortality and you're gonna lose people and financial struggles and all of these things that are so unknown, to have some security, you know, I think probably is very seductive.
In moments of stress and anger, we look for security and certainty. You know, sometimes we do need a concrete yes or no, and we can worry about moving on to the depressive position later.
We all subscribe to some kind of narrative of what makes sense in the world. Maybe there is no sense in the world. We all have to either create it or be nihilistic.
So this thinking can offer security so long as we can eventually interrogate it and think about where it's coming from. Here's what my buddy Frank Yeoman has to say.
It's extremely comforting to think we're the good ones, the others are the bad. I think the challenge to society is one of education. How can we educate people to not shy away from complexity? How can we educate people to embrace it and appreciate it rather than be threatened by it?
And this, of course, all plays back into the political tensions that folks are feeling right here in post-election America, where various demographics are just being thrown under the bus for being the bad guys who ruined it for the good guys. And here, I think one final comment from Yeoman will be helpful.
The trick is to have that fervent energy and not totally vilify the other, to be able to maintain some empathy with the other, to understand the other's position, because once it's all vilification, the dialogue breaks down.
So guys, not to be too corny, but it really does feel like we're in a time where empathy and curiosity and dialogue are gonna be a lot more useful than whatever else it is we've been trying. And if we can access those feelings by just embracing a weird part of our own psychology, then hey, to me, that seems like a good thing. Now, in the meantime, don't stay in the depressive state for too long, and please let me know what you think in the comments, especially if you have stories about times that you ghosted or were ghosted. A special shout out to all of our patrons. Your support means a lot. There's a link in the description to check that out. Please subscribe and like and ring the bell if you have not already. It helps us out a ton. And in the meantime, remember that cursing an entire county of people to drink water that's poisoned with lead just because you don't like who a majority of them voted for makes you bad. All the way bad. Sorry, that's one exception to the rule.
I agree. Let me tell you what I also agree on, though. It's time to move on to greener pastures. It's time to move away from K dating to G dating. Love is all around us, ladies and gentlemen. Love is all around. What the fuck? How do you do full screen? Oh, never mind, it did it. In the process of this new video game sequence, we will of course be exploring Confucianism. Now that we have explored Neo-Confucianism, it's time to explore Confucianism as well. This game is called Love is All Around. It is basically the Chinese version of the Korean game that we were playing. Chapter 1. Last night, did we?
Which 头好疼，又喝大了。这是哪儿啊？
Are we ready for this? Let's do it. This plot actually has depth, unlike the last one. Oh, I bet. I bet it has depth.
没电啊。
What happened last night? Let's look at the trash can.
好多饮料块啊。
Why are there so many paint jars? What's that about?
熬夜伤身体，把茶喝了。 23号，不就是昨天吗？画展，这也穿不上啊。
Do I have amnesia? What the fuck's going on? I'm in a girl's
我
house.
怎么会在一个女孩家里？
Okay.
这画我好像在哪儿见过。
All right. We've searched everything.
好烫啊！
Whoa! Wait, what is all this stuff on screen? Wait, what is going on? Okay, first of all, hey, yo. Number one, hey, yo. Number two, what the fuck going on? Is this going to be like mostly... Is it mostly Mandarin? Because if that's the case, I'm cooked. Like, I'm not that much of a gooner. You know what I'm saying? Like, as big as a gooner as I am, I'm probably not going to fucking learn Mandarin. You know what I mean? Like, that's... On Chinese live streams and shows, they got text on top like that. Is Chinese netizens writing comments about the game? Holy crap, it's coming back to me now. Wait, hold on. Learning Mandarin from a goon game is the first step to going to China. Wait, hold on. Maybe we can like fix the settings a little bit. I don't know. Oh my God, they have a Steam Deck up here that you can figure out how to play on the Steam Deck. Speech language Chinese. After downloading DLC? Fuck. I have to download the Gooner DLC, bro? That's crazy. What does this do? Please enter the content.
好烫啊！我去！我靠！想起来了。
That fit is crazy. Turn off. Wait, what the fuck? Are they being creepers? Turn off screen text on the bottom left. Is this it? Bro, hey, chill. Why are you looking? Fix the problem for Gid. Give her a quiet heads up.
那个你裙子。
哦，这样就好啦。
We're in。
到点下班，这个点了还有人来啊！欢迎光临，感谢莅临鉴赏，感谢感谢。
辉呀，日结工资我过段时间再给你。
我做小时工是现结工资啊。
那这样，我先以个人名义先给你50，回头200再给你，你先打车回去，算人意吧。
现在晚高峰打不着车呀。
那行吧，听你的。钱肯定会给你的。我先走了，我还有事儿。
哎。
喂，我知道现在晚高峰打车很难的，前面200多个人排队。行吧，行吧，你们先吃吧。
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is Xi Jinping teaching Americans about the immortal science of Marxist Leninism Maoism. Okay? Let me explain something to you. This game is actually brainwashing the American youth into learning that communism is the friends we made along the way, including but not limited to sharing cab rides with women. Women hold up half the sky. That's right.
你下班没？
下班了。
我一个人很饿，我不想一个人去吃饭，要不我们去附近的酒吧吃点喝点。
Damn.
没钱。
Yeah, you do. You just got $50, bitch.
你别磨叽，我请你，走吧。
Dude, China is so advanced, dude. There's no PUA. There's no fucking manosphere telling you like, you know, you always got to pay for women, except you should never pay for women. You shouldn't even be around women.
我刚看了一家还堵着呢，我们再喝一杯。
In China, women proposition you and also buy you drinks. In China, they tell you that they're hungry, but then what they mean is they're hungry for alcohol. Actually, yes, there is a girl in my seminar is doing her thesis on the Chinese manosphere. Oh, god damn it. Why you gotta ruin it with some nerd shit? Tim Wald's speed run?
我们换一个地方吧。
好啊。
Risen up a CPC baddie, dude. Her father is actually high ranking in the CPC. That's why she has this nice apartment in a tier 1 city. Oh my god, we're doing the Tim Waltz run.
送你了。
啊？没有。
昨晚咱俩是不是？
昨晚。
Yes, it happened. No, we definitely didn't. Change the subject. Okay, I have no idea how to fucking... I don't know. Like... Where's Yubi when you need her? Do a Sigma male run? I've been here. Yeah, but you ain't giving us fucking the right options. Yes, it happened.
应该是，放心啊，我会负责的。
这就完了？
那，你还想怎么样
？Boo！
一会儿我老公就过来了。
What？
他会怎么着？
你老公？那一切都是误会，那我先走了。哎呦，
瞧把你给吓的！我逗你呢，咱俩昨晚什么事都没有。
有事没事我也得走了啊！再见。
这不你家吗？
啊
？Wait, what？
你们俩睡醒了？ 怪不得我看着这么不顺眼，原来是师姐家呀。
你俩？
是，她是我小师妹，
但我爸是她老师，
我是他爸最满意的学生。
都多小时候的事儿了，师姐，你到现在都记着呢。
你打住啊，我懒得跟你说。
This is confusing. Why would she not know? We can't see it all? Okay, well, I don't know where to put myself, chat. Like, maybe up here and smaller, but like, I don't want to get in the way of Goon, but... No, Cam, I don't want to see your face. Based on her reaction to your first interaction, she likes a man that is straightforward. To ace dating sims, you have to figure out what type of flirting they like. Put the cam bottom right, then it's gonna interfere with the. It's gonna interfere with the subtitles, and then you're truly cooked. You know what I'm saying? This is the Goon Goon OBS setup. Got to be upper half. It'll block choices. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I put it here. I think this is the best possible place to put it. Like that.
难道咱们三个昨晚？
你想得美！
Damn, that's crazy that you just assumed that we had a threesome.
你以后不要再喝这么多酒了啊！你不会不认识我了吧？
你看我干嘛？我怎么知道你们怎么认识的？
故意。你不会真的不记得我们怎么认识的吧？
I gave you that painting. I don't know.
当然记得，咱俩第一次见面，我送你的那幅画。
什么？你送给我的？男人真是没一个靠谱的。
男人的嘴骗人的鬼，故意。你要蒙也蒙一个别的呀，非得往枪口上撞。
哼，你呀，画展。
Wait, how do we go back? We met at an exhibition.
当然记得了，咱们俩在画展上认识的。
算你有戏。
啊，我怎么不记得了
Bro, I'm fucking shameless, dog. Yeah, of course I'm gonna fucking... Of course I'm going to fucking instantly save scum. Like, what are you talking about? Think of it like I have a superpower, okay? I'm a time traveler. All right? I'm a time traveler. I'm able to literally go back and fix my mistakes. That chat overlay is useless. Okay, well, you can kind of see.
我不记得我见过你啊。
我去了，特邀嘉宾 VIP 展厅，你见不到我正常。啊，对了，顾爷，以后他们要再是难为你，你要告诉我啊。你忘了，昨天你被人嘲笑了。
被人嘲笑了？哦，想起来了，想起来了。
I'm lying. It doesn't come back to me at all. The fuck?
行了，别看了，赶紧干活吧。看得懂吗你？ 也是挺服你的。
Wow. It's clear to me that even in Xi Jinping's China, after the Deng's turn, okay, the Chinese characteristics have actually instilled a whole bunch of class resentment amongst the professional managerial class and those who are direct laborers. And the manager in this circumstance does not recognize his class position, as he is a mere servant of the capital owners in this circumstance. This is what happens when revisionism, this is what happens when you don't abide by the original principles, okay? It's obvious. It's obvious to me that the manager does not understand, and he is basically telling his own fellow laborer that he is actually less than him. And in order to better understand this, we have to go back to 7000 AD. We have to go back to a time when Confucianism was very prominent in China. (7,000 AD). We have to go back to 7,000 BC. We have to go back to 700 BC.
"出来打零工了，还在这追梦呢。
谁说的？
I'm so
我认为他的
dumb.
品味非常好，整个展厅里，这个是最好的。
李老师，您怎么来了？怎么，这是您朋友？
是啊，
故意，赶紧把手里活停下，陪李老师逛逛。还愣着干嘛呀？钱照给，快去快去。
Wow. I cooked.
"你觉得这幅怎么样？
Looks like something my uncle would paint. The color and composition have a distinct style.
"这跟我二姨夫画的一样。
你二姨夫也是画家？
没有，我二姨夫他是卖炭的，他就喜欢拿炭在地上抹。这个画跟我二姨夫作画手法相似。
你真能扯。
She liked it. Y'all haters and
今天
doubters.
谢谢你陪我，跟你一起看展。
Y'all haters and doubters got nothing on me.
那有机会咱们一起吧。
We're going in. We're going in, baby. Damn, she was overcome by the Riz, dude. She's like, damn, I've never been touched like that.
我也有个疑问，昨晚我和顾一喝酒，怎么会在你家醒来？
说起这事儿我就生气。昨晚顾一给我打电话，
啊？手机呢？
顾一说自己喝多了找不到家，让我去接他。本来我都睡了，转念一想，万一他再出点什么事儿，我就出门了。我到了之后看见你俩呀，这醉成烂泥，没办法，我就把你俩接回来了。
Have you noticed any difference between K dating and C dating so far? Yes. I feel like C dating is more modest, less Americanized.